Welcome to the Northern Powerhouse interview series, where we're unashamedly spreading good news by interviewing Northern businesses and their successes during the pandemic. Subscribe to be notified of new interviews or click the link in the description to take part if you'd like to be interviewed yourself in a future episode.
Morning and welcome to Northern Powerhouses Business Success Stories. So we are joined by Roy Webber this morning, who is the owner and founder of Works Design. So good morning and thank you ever so much for joining us.
Welcome.
So can I just start off by asking you to introduce yourself properly to us, Roy, and can you tell us a little bit more about exactly what it is that you guys do?
Sure. Well, the Works it's 32 years old now. We've been over 32 years, which is quite an achievement for a design agency. We started off, I was working in television as a sign artist. So if we were on location anywhere in the world and it was a period production, everything was done by hand then. So I'd have to change things like shop fascias, advertising, hoardings, car number plates to be the right period. And of course, when good old Maggie smashed the unions, I left to go freelance to service television and film. So my company was built around servicing television and film. Then we grew into exhibitions and then into museum. And then I met somebody that introduced us into the world of sport with UEFA. And our very first project was designing the Champions League final for UEFA, which was Manchester United and Barcelona. And at that time, everything that was coming out of UEFA was pretty Swiss, very safe. And we came up with a concept which is like football meets art in the city of Barcelona. So we had a concept that reflected the Miro, the artist's work, and we contacted his estate and said, look, we want to create some images around this. Can we have your permission? They gave the permission. Of course, they loved it. The city loved it. And it kind of changed the way the Champions League did their finals because it was built more around the city and the city got more involved. So we did several of those in a row. So we made a bit of a name for ourselves. And the world of sport and sports marketing is a pretty small world. So we were handed around. And we slowly developed in the world of sports and started working for federations. So I'd say for probably about 22, 23 years now, we're pretty well sports specific. We do other work, but we're known for what we do in sport. And it's all about relationships and servicing and not letting people down, building those reputations. So now we work with all the major sporting federations in the world. I mean, there's a couple of things we don't do, tennis and golf, I think. The only thing we haven't done, but I think we've done over 400 major events, many finals, World Cup finals. So we service FIBA, FIVB, World Baseball, World Equestrian, FIFA, UEFA, and all the major events you have to tender for, obviously, but everything which is day-to-day servicing or the smaller events, they trust us with that. So we built up all those relationships, and we've delivered the last 4 World Cups for FIFA. Wow. So, for instance, in this case in Qatar, the identity is done locally. Sometimes that has to happen for political reasons. And then they will hand it to us and say, like, take this and roll it out across everything. Stadium dressing, city dressing, hospitality, fan zones. And then we do the licensing guide, the style guides, the merchandising. We're down to the last 2 or 3 at the moment for the broadcast package, which is massive if we can win that. We're very hopeful. So it's all big stuff. And another big win we had, which started just before lockdown, was having delivered the last 2 Women's World Cups for FIFA, the last one being in Paris, which was incredibly successful. We did everything for that. We were asked to tender by UEFA to create a new DNA for women's football, which obviously, as you know, is the new growth area in sport. Everybody is around it, sponsors want to get involved, which we won that. So we've created a new DNA for the Women's Euros and the Women's Champions League, all of which we can't really show anybody at the moment.
All top secret.
But it's everything from, rebranding, creating new fonts, the guidelines, licensing, promotional stuff, all the way through to the broadcast titles and TV toolkits at the end. So 2 massive projects that have kept us going. And we continue to develop our relationships in Qatar. Unfortunately, because of the travel reasons, we can't move at the moment. So my son, who travels with me, he's on furlough at the moment. He can't wait to get back to it. We've built some great relationships there, because in the Middle East, a lot of it is about relationships. And so we will continue our work there. We have developed relationships in Saudi, where massive opportunities on the 2030 vision there for sport and entertainment and lifestyle. They're investing a fortune in that. And we were fortunate enough to be involved with a company called Delta Tray, who we partnered for a massive project, which was a new Saudi sports channel, which is like a Sky TV. So it's a sports channel that has different channels within it. And we've won the whole branding and a whole load of broadcast work around that. Now, that's a massive project. And we've luckily been put on a nice big retainer for that for a while. So that's growing. And other opportunities arrived. We tendered for the Dakar Rally in 2021. We won that, not the campaign for that. So we're now tendering for the Dakar Rally in 2022. We tendered for the first Grand Prix in Saudi. We haven't heard anything about that yet. They have a very different way of working in Saudi and, well, in the Middle East in general. So yes, a massive learning curve. And, now we're talking to people about partnerships in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. So we have a product. They want it. They don't have that particular skill base there, but we will bolt onto a company that maybe does events, that's infrastructure. So it's kind of fits and it's working out. So we're in a really good growth period at the moment. We employed 6 people during this lockdown. Really, really good people. I have a fantastic, talented team of people, multi-skilled. A lot of them been with me over 20 years. So it's a good family, good unit.
Says a lot for your culture and the feel of the company.
Well, cultures, yes. Up until a few years ago, we're a bit of a lifestyle business, but all of a sudden, I've employed a couple of people that have. One guy in particular who's given us a brand new direction and a vision. And he's altered the company inside and outside. So we're speaking with a different tone of voice. And it's been a good year for us.
It sounds so exciting. I mean, being that you're pretty much exclusively sport now, you work within the sporting world. When everything has started to happen a year ago, how did you guys react?
Well, we were quite worried because previously, about 4 years ago, when all the corruption in sport happened, it was a big thing for us because work we would normally be given by the federations, we weren't given anymore. We had to tender, so it's like starting again. And people we worked quite closely with disappeared for obvious reasons, and so new people came in the job, and they would have the people that they like to work with. So it was. Although it created opportunities for us that we didn't have before, it was a tough year. That's the only year where we actually run on the spot for a year and we had to rebuild, but we've had 3 years of growth since that. So we were quite worried with this, what was going to happen. We had quite a few things lined up that were postponed. So when it turned out we won the 2 big contracts with UEFA, we won 2 or 3 nice contracts with FIFA, which can't talk about, but you've probably got a good idea what it is. And we've won other stuff with World Equestrian Federation, and we do a lot for volleyball and FIBA. We just launched a really nice job we've done for FIBA, which is the World's Women's Championship. We've designed a new trophy, which was launched yesterday, so we can show it and talk about that. But they're very pleased with all of that. So some really exciting projects and expansion. We're good. We can't getting back to the office obviously is a challenge. We made an early decision to work from home the minute all this started. We just shipped everybody at home. We had a few technical problems with people using their home Wi-Fi, so we invested in some kit and stuff to keep everybody happy. And obviously the biggest thing for us is communication, which was interesting because we found out that communicating from home via Zoom calls with all the federations that we work with has been a real plus. It's a good opportunity to grow better relationships better, but the communication amongst ourselves has been quite hard. people wasting time waiting for instruction or waiting for feedback. So as you can imagine, that process slows down. But we've got used to it. We've got a routine. We've set up internal meetings, regular meetings, management meetings, scheduling the work, talking about the finance. So everybody knows what everybody's doing. And but getting back to work, we've made a plan. Obviously, some people are anxious about it. So we followed all the guidelines regarding the offices, exactly how it needs to be, with the distancing and the screens, sanitation. The building we're working within has done exactly the same. So we're hoping to get people, fingers crossed, if there's not another spike, to start, people that are comfortable can start moving back into the office at the beginning of June. But hopefully we want to get everybody back into the office by the end of July, but most people have been vaccinated, and hopefully the world is coming together again. That's our plan. And I can't wait. It's as you can imagine, you know, creative agency, it's all about communicating and bouncing ideas off each other. Yeah.
Absolutely. So how have the team adapted over the last year? You guys have had to, so you're a team of creatives and suddenly you have to work remotely. How have the team coped? How have they adapted to that?
Oh, they've adapted really well. You know, like I say, we've set up systems of communication, and you know, bearing the circumstances, which is not really convenient, they've done really well, and it's worked well. We've employed new people that we've not even met yet. We've interviewed over Zoom, and you know, they're dotted around the country. You know, and I'm sure that some people have got used to working from home and they quite like it. It's no travel and it's a lot easier. But we're going down the very flexible route. We're a very flexible company. We will allow flexibility for people that want to take their kids to school and then come to work and all that stuff. But remote working, not just yet. Something we might consider in the future.
Brilliant. Yeah. So has that enabled you, with the additional team members you brought on over the last year, now having sort of that more remote working, has that enabled you to look for talent in areas that you maybe wouldn't have been able to before?
Well, no, surprisingly enough, you would think that during this period, when unfortunately lots of businesses are having trouble and laying off staff, it'd be easy to find the staff, but we've had to go to agencies to find the staff. We're very pleased with the people we've got. We've got some very, very clever people. So that, and I've got obviously I'll be looking for an exit plan in the not too distant future. So I've put everything in place for that. I've got a great COO, and I've got a new guy that's taking care of the strategy and the performance of the business. And I've got some really clever senior people, but multi-talented people.
Brilliant. So what about you as the leader of the business? How has it been for you, and how have you had to adapt your leadership style given everything the last year has thrown at your business?
I've concentrated basically on the Middle East and the relationships there and building those. I've left everything to the staff, really. I get reported to, but they know who they want to employ. They know that, you know, whether it's somebody that is great at typography or somebody that's good at motion. They know what they need to fill the gaps, and I've just gone with it. They've told me who it is, and we've expanded that way. Frustrating, you know, because sometimes I can't see what's going on. They're obviously busy day to day working together and developing, and you know, I'm quite remote from it all, so that's frustrating. You sometimes feel, you know, you can't touch or feel it. You have a business and you can't touch and feel it, but it's all good. We're all good, and like I say, the interesting thing for me is developing the relationships in the Middle East, which has been quite time consuming to get the right people and employ the right people with the right partnership. But so far, it's working.
Brilliant. So what would you say has been the biggest challenge that you guys have had to overcome over the last year?
I suppose it's when we first started working remotely, the technical problems we had. Took us a while to get that resolved. And then communication. And like I say, what we've probably learned the most, talking to my team, what we've learned the most from all this is our communication with our client base, because it's become familiar is not the right word, but a lot cozier, because they're talking from their bedrooms to our guys talking in their bedrooms, and they've become a lot friendlier. And so we want to try and keep that. So we set up no more phone calls. In fact, we've got rid of all our phones at the office. We don't need them anymore. It's going to be more personal and Zoom calls. And hopefully when we're back in the office, the communications, which has been a problem, we've had to do the best we can, will be resolved. So yeah, the technical issues really have been the problem.
So what would you say, knowing everything that you guys sort of know now, so navigating the last year and the adaptations that you've made to your business, everything that's gone on, knowing what you know now, is there anything that you would have done differently, or that you maybe would have done sooner?
It's hard to say. I think we did the right thing. We made the decision to work remotely.
Yeah.
We tried to come back after the first lockdown.
Yeah.
It didn't quite work. So we're just going to stay there, and hopefully everything by the end of July will be resolved. If it doesn't, we'll just stay working from home. We just have to deal with it as we are. Fortunately, we've won, through the skill base of the boys and girls in the office, we've won some really nice projects that's keeping everybody busy. So we've done what we had to do. And so moving forward, we're expanding. And I've managed to employ some great people during this period of time. So our growing area of our business is in motion, the motion department, broadcast, video, CGI stuff. One of the jobs we've done, which we're really proud of, we built a new platform for a company called Match Hospitality. It's the official FIFA site for buying your VIP tickets and your packages for the World Cup. We built a new platform for that, which is all the CGI fly-throughs of all the VIP areas. So that's something, and that's ongoing. Another nice little job that came along that will expand. So.
Exciting. So what would you say you guys are most looking forward to as we kind of emerge? There's light at the end of the tunnel, and as we enter this new normal that we're all sort of alluding to, what are you all looking forward to the most?
Well, we are looking at changing the culture of the business. That's underway at the moment. We have a playbook in place at the moment, which we're working to, devised by a new guy I was telling you about, a guy called Mark Lucas. He's been very influential in our business. And we're working towards that. More flexible working hours, which I think people want. Yeah. It's I'm sure that a lot of businesses have learned a lot from this and will have remote working, and maybe they can save money, and maybe the staff give better performance. Personally, I can't wait to see us all back in the same room to get that creative spark going, which is quite hard to do when you're remote.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to that.
Brilliant. And what would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself as a business owner, as a leader, over the course of the last year? What's your biggest learning that you can take away?
Trusting my staff, because I've had to. They just get on with it and do it, and they deliver the goods. Frustrating, you don't feel like part of it because you're remote from it all. They're busy working away every day, communicating with each other, delivering this great work. But yeah, learning to trust my staff and let them get on with it, I think, is a big learning curve for me. Yes.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for chatting with us and sharing some of your story and your experiences. It's really valuable to our clients, to our community, and we really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Roy.
We are truly fortunate, and I'm very fortunate having such a great team.
Lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bob.
Thanks for watching. What was your takeaway from today's interview? Please post it in the comments below and subscribe for all our upcoming videos, or click for the next video here.